Let's go over our algorithm's numerical value and where these numbers come from. All of our indicators have a total value, which is a numerical number between 0 and 10 for momentum indicators and -10 and 10 for directional indicators. Where do these numbers come from? That's what we'll show you today. So if you take a look at our system here, if we were just going to calculate the ADX, for example, today we're just going to calculate the ADX total score. We look at multiple different time frames. The first time frame we'll look at is the 1 hour time frame. Now, the formula to calculate this from our white paper, as you can see here, is the indicator 1 weight times the indicator 1 value plus indicator 2 weight times indicator 3 value, and so on and so forth. As many indicators as we have, this will continue the same way, divided by indicator 1 weight plus indicator 2 weight plus indicator 3 weight, so on and so forth. So we have 16 different indicators that are doing this calculation every millisecond. Now, let's go over a real life example. So here, just took a random day and time over here. So on 3/24/25 in the US Tech here, we just put a vertical red line there to see the values. Now, if you're trying to look at this the way I'm looking at it, you'll see over here the ADX 14 value. So we'll concentrate on that value here. So when I hover over the price on this current candle over here, you can see the price is 60.74. So 60.74 on the 1 hour time frame. Keep that in mind. Now, 30-minute time frame has a value of 40.04 at that exact time that we had before. On the 15-minute time frame, the value is 46.57, and on the 5-minute, that value is 27.74. Written these down over here for you guys so you guys understand it. So raw values, ADX raw values. Raw values are what you just saw. It is the values that we see on the charts. So again, here is the 1 hour, it's 60.74. We're looking at this value over here, 60.74. Here it is, 60.74. So we've calculated our raw values. Now, we have formula values. So what happens is the algorithm will take these raw values and plug it into a mathematical formula. So we'll take those raw values, and here's our values, here's our formulas for the ADX. So what is it? How do you read this? If that value is between 0 and 22.72, the value is going to be 1. If it is between 22.72 and 69.14, you're going to put the X value as the raw value and calculate the formula score. So for example, on the 1 hour, so each of the time frames have a little bit of a different formula there. So we'll concentrate on the 1 hour right now. 1 hour formula. It is, so we have for the raw value, it is 60.74. 60.74 is our raw value, and that's going to fall between 22.72 and 69.14. So we will take that raw value again. It is 60.74, and we will multiply it, because it's our X value, so multiplied by 0.194, and we will get a value of 11.78. Now we have to subtract 11.78 from 3.4. So 11.78 minus 3.4 gives us 8.38. And the value is at 8.38 over here for the 1 hour time frame. Now let's go back to the charts here, go to the 30-minute time frame, and we'll take a look at the value at the same spot. So the value on the 30-minute time frame in the ADX was 40.03. So we'll take that and we'll multiply it by, because it's in this zone over here, 30-minute time frame, it's in this zone, times 0.188, and we will subtract it by 2.95, and we'll get a value of 4.58, and so on and so forth. So we'll do the 15-minute quickly. So we are at 46.57. 46.57 falls in this range again, times 0.188, minus 2.87 gives us a value of 5.59, and then finally for the 5-minute time frame we get a value of, so a raw value of 27.73. Put in our formula here. 27 is going to fall in here, so 27 times 0.188 minus 2.89 gives us a final value for the 5 minutes of 2.33. Now we have our formula values. So we have our raw values that you saw; those are the chart values, and then we have our formula values. In our formula values, we have each of the time frames has its own value. So as you can see here, this is on a scale between 0 and 10. So we have a lot of confidence on the 1 hour, little confidence in the 5 minutes, and a little bit more confidence in the 15 minute than the 30 minute. So we take all this into consideration. Let me change this. Take this all into consideration. Now we have our weighted time frame. So what does weighted time frames mean? Well, we don't want to consider the 1 hour time frame and the 5 minute time frame the same kind of weights. So what we have here is each indicator will have a total weight, which we'll go over later, but each of them will have a time frame weight. So we can see here that we are saying that the 1 hour time frame should have more emphasis on its score than the 30 minute or the 5 minute. So 5 minute has a weighted value of 0.5, 15 minute has a weighted value of 1, 30 minute has a value of 0.5, and the 1 hour has a value of 1. So these are our weighted time frames. Now, how does that take into consideration with the formulas and the raw values? Well, we have our formula values that were calculated from the formula. So raw values first, then formula values. So we get to here, this point. Then we have our weighted time frame values, and now we have to have a weighted total value that we get for each time frame. So how we do that is we take the time frame multiplied by the weighted value. So we have, for the 1 hour, we have the value at 8.38. The weighted value is at a 1. So we get a weighted total value of 8.38. 30 minute had a value of 4.58. We multiply it by its weight, it gives us 2.29. And the 15 minute has a value of 5.59, multiplied by the weight, 5.59. And then finally the 5 minute has a value of 2.33, multiplied by its weight of 0.5 gives us a value of 1.17. So let's go back to the formula over here. So as you can see from the formula, we have indicator 1 weight times indicator 1 value. You can see here, indicator 1 weight times, indicator 1 value times indicator 1 weight, which you saw there. So we did the math here. Indicator 2 weight, 0.5, times indicator 2 value, which was at 4.58. And so we just did that math in our head right there. We got these values. So that's the top part there. And then we got to divide that by indicator 1 weight plus indicator 2 weight plus indicator 3 weight, so on and so forth. So when we get to it, so the weights are over here. So we have the second part, which is here, which is 1 plus 0.5 plus 1 plus 0.5, which is the weights that we saw here, and the value of 3. So we have that final score of 17.43, which is going to be the top value of the equation over here. So the top over here is going to be 17.43, and the bottom is going to be divided by 3, which is the weights, and we get a total value of 5.86. Sorry, 5.81. It's changed. 5.81 is the total value for the ADX score out of 10. That's how the math is done when going through the formulas and having a weighted value for each of the time frames. So step into consideration here, the value at the exact value on the ADX, which you'll see here, over here, would be on this example that we're showing you at this exact time at 13 on 324 would be the value of around 5.81. So right around here we're at 5.81. That's what our value would show. Each of our other indicators, so we have the ADX, the RSI, SMAs, fractals, pivot points. So we have 16 different indicators, and each one of them will do the same calculations based off of their indicator score. Some indicators are used standard. Some indicators are completely made up by our proprietary system. After all of the math is done for each indicator, they'll go into one final formula and then give us our final momentum and directional value, which we'll go over at a different time in the calculations. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.